lot going on around right now about ibuprofen and taking ibuprofen, of whether or not we should or we shouldn't because of things with the coronavirus and increasing issues associated with that as well and complications. So I just wanted to share, in case you aren't sure about what's going on with the ibuprofen and what's been stated so far. So just recently, a couple days ago, the French health minister came out and said that we should not be taking anti-inflammatory drugs such as ibuprofen. So if you aren't sure, ibuprofen is the active ingredient that's in things like like your Motrin and your Advils and stuff like that, right? So here's the thing. So the French health minister came out and said, don't take anti-inflammatory drugs such as ibuprofen. He said that there was a recent study in the Lancet Medical Journal that detailed how there's an enzyme in there that, boosted by anti-inflammatory drugs or anti-inflammatory medications, can worsen the COVID-19 infections. So I'm putting this out there just because we've gotten people asking us about this, because there's a lot of information that's out there and we're being bombarded all the time by all this information, and we just aren't sure how to handle it all and how to process it all. So this ibuprofen that's come out, that the information from France that's coming out right now from the France health minister that's coming out, was also echoed by the World Health Organization and the CDC saying, okay, that's new information that's out there. We're going to jump on that too and go along with that as well. Don't take ibuprofen. Now, the latest information from the World Health Organization is saying this. Now they're saying, they just said it in a tweet. They just said, based on the current available information, what's currently out there, they said the World Health Organization, the WHO, does not recommend against the use of ibuprofen. But they said something that's really important within that too. They said, okay, yeah, ibuprofen is an active ingredient in the Motrin and the Advil and all those things. They said they're not aware of published clinical or population-based data in using it or not using it. Here's the thing. Yeah, it's tough right now. So because of the fact that it's tough right now, to be able to get that kind of information and everything, it's one of those things where, yeah, we don't have all the reports. We can't get all because all this stuff is happening so fast, right? They did say this, though, and this is the key part, and this is something that was seen in China, too. That's why the Chinese CDC is on here, too. I want you to know this. This is what they found. This is what the World Health Organization said. They said, we're not aware of any reports of the negative effects of ibuprofen, but beyond the usual known side effects. So what are those usual known side effects? Well, let's talk about that. Those usual known side effects, according to the FDA, according to our FDA, they're saying ibuprofen can cause side effects, especially in those with cardiovascular problems, so like heart disease, things like that, right? And it can be even found in higher elevated aspects whenever we're talking about things like heart attack and stroke. So it can found to have an even higher link to things like heart attack and stroke. That's what our FDA found. Just talking about ibuprofen in general, okay? Here's the thing that's important about that. The Chinese CDC numbers show this. So the Chinese CDC numbers show that the underlying condition most associated with coronavirus, with their worst cases, that their worst outcomes is heart disease. So, am I saying not to take it or to take it or anything like that? No, I'm just giving you the information. You've got to make the decision for yourself as to what's right and talk to your prescribing doctor on any of these things as far as that goes. But this is the latest information that's out there, and I want to make sure I share that with you because it's so important. I mean, if we're being given all this information, we've got to use it as best we possibly can and make sure that we're using it in the best way possible. This right here, if you're taking ibuprofen for things like pain management so that you can get through your day and that you can get through things and that you aren't dealing with the headaches or the pain or whatever it is, there are better ways to do that and mitigate that and make sure that it's decreased. Right now, what we don't want to do is we don't want to be flooding our ER system or our urgent care system with anything dealing with any of these kind of musculoskeletal disorders or anything like that, right? So aches or pains or headaches or any of that kind of stuff, whenever you can go find a chiropractor that can help you with that. Look, chiropractic is way more than just back pain, neck pain, headaches, all that stuff. It's way more than any of that. It's about making sure that your body functions so much better than ever it has before. But we've got to make sure that in this current situation, in this current crisis, in this current situation that we're in with this COVID, and I've got my thoughts on all that and everything else, but taking things like pain-relieving drugs to get through your day is not going to be the thing that, based on this information, that we really want to make sure that we're fully understanding what's going on. If we can look from what other countries are dealing with and what they've seen, and we can look at it for our own benefit for here, and we can get ahead of that, that's going to be a much better situation. So I know that there are a lot of great chiropractors out there all over the US, the world, everywhere that can help you. And I know that we're here to help you if you're here in St. Louis at Vidan Family Chiropractic. But whatever it is, I'm going to put the link in here so that you can see where we got all this information and you can judge for yourself. I'm saying with all this stuff, judge for yourself. Figure it out, look at what's going on, but get the information because a lot of things are changing so fast, right? Like, don't take ibuprofen. Now you can, or now you shouldn't, or what else is going on with that? Well, if we know that the CDC from China found that they had problems with heart disease and they're the ones that at the worst risk for these issues, and we know that the risk is increased with taking things like ibuprofen, cardiovascular problems are associated with that and found even higher link to heart attack and stroke with taking ibuprofen. We've got to take all those things into consideration. Again, I'm not saying for anybody to take or not to take anything. I am specifically saying you're going to want to make sure that you find out more information and that you talk to your prescribing doctor about that with this kind of information so that you know you've got this information, this research that's out there, this content that's out there so that you can decide for yourself. All right. So, all right, everybody, I'm Dr. Vidan. I wanted to make sure I shared that with you. If you have any questions, let me know. I've been getting a lot of great questions and a lot of great things to just help. Just know we're here to help you as a resource. And we're here because it's just so needed right now. And we want to do everything we can to help our community and help you to get through all this together. I know that we're all going to get through this together. We're all here to help each other. And as long as we always have that mindset and that kind of thought process, we're all going to be okay.